Hi. Praise Jesus. Jesus will make everything okay. Hi. This is a miracle that I'm going to tell you how, from my perspective, how God strengthened me and how God can strengthen you and how God strengthens all of us. We're supposed to be kind to others, forgive others when they're mean to us, repent and feel sorry for anything wrong we did, not be led into temptation, love God. God loves us. Be kind to others. Be a good father and mother. Raise our children in the ways of the Lord if we have children. Love your mother and father if you're not married. If you have others in your life and your mother and father and kids aren't on earth, then love others. If you're somebody like Al Bob, he doesn't have kids, he doesn't have a mom and dad, he's like a single person, his wife died. It's pretty sad, so he has to be kind to others, but he's not sad anymore. She died like 30 years ago. So and the others of her 20 something years ago, I think. And so the others of us who are married, honor your wife as your equal or your husband as your equal. Love your husband or wife as your equal. God strengthened me. Not necessarily these strong arms or anything like that. You can be skinny and be strengthened too. And the way that God strengthened me was, okay, for 3 days, I had felt so bad. I don't know, the people logged off. There were people watching. That's okay. There were problems with my life. Okay, I got up to my heaviest weight and I went to the doctor, and I didn't know if any of this is real or true because none of us really know what God is going to bring into our lives or who God is going to bring into our lives or how really good God is going to make our lives. God will make our lives really good and give us more than our wildest dreams in abundance. And so our dreams aren't always the best. Sometimes our dreams are sinful and they make us value earthly things. Like when we wake up, we're like, oh, we want, but we don't know. We don't always have to do that. Sometimes our dreams are really good and we don't value earthly things. But God will give us more than our wildest dreams in abundance. So for 3 days, I felt so bad, or 3 or 4 days or something like that. 3 days. And I had gotten up to my heaviest at the doctor. I weighed 253 pounds. And I felt so bad, and I didn't know what it was. I didn't know if I had muscle or not, or how much muscle I had, but I thought I was big, fat, and heavy. And I had high cholesterol, more than 300 cholesterol. So my dad was saying, that doesn't look too good when you weigh so much and 300 cholesterol. And I didn't know, but he's kind and good. He's getting older. He's heavy because he's big and tall, and he was like a powerful man that weighed a bunch or something like that. And is kind of, he's like 200 pounds or something. He's kind of skinny now, so it's a miracle that he's okay. And so it wasn't his fault, but for some reason I thought I must be big, fat, and heavy, and I had too high cholesterol. This was for 3 days up until this morning. And this is for 3 days up until this morning. I was so depressed. I laid in bed because I had been drinking caffeine. I had so much caffeine that I was like working out, working on videos a bunch, doing this other stuff for Danica and the kids, like trying to be a good father from 1,000 miles away. It's not easy. And this other stuff for God, trying to get my license back. That's why I had to go to the doctor, because they had to check my physical and mental health and see if I was okay to get my license back. And they did. They filled out a DMV form, and so hopefully I'm going to get my license back. I have to send it to the DMV, or they send it to the DMV, so I have to see. And the thing I was worried about was kind of that, but that's not that bad of a problem. And the thing that I was really worried about was my cholesterol and gotten heavy, and just I felt generally depressed and not that good. and my cholesterol is up to 300 something. And 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 then I went for a walk, and I went for another walk in my videos. I filmed both of the walks, I think. And for some reason, um I hurt my foot. And I did some weights for my legs, but usually I've never hurt my legs doing leg muscles for my weights, because I found that strengthens the tendons and bones and joints and everything when you do it properly. Usually I never hurt my legs when I do weights, but I went for a long walk two different times in my video as I filmed it. If you look back, you can see I went for a walk or whatever, and for some reason it hurt my foot. And I had hurt that foot before, but it like maybe would last about here and there for about a day and then go away. But this time it lasted 3 days, the longest I've ever heard it for. And usually it was when I ate too much food and was too heavy. And I was like, "What's wrong?" I weighed the heaviest ever. I was up to 253 pounds. I had high cholesterol, and my foot hurt from just going on two kind of small walks. But I also did the huge weights with it, and I didn't think that would hurt it. But then for 3 days, I was laying in bed mostly working on videos, or sad and crying about her and the kids and writing to her. And Danica wrote back and said some nice things, and I don't know. And so I was worried about my health, and I thought I was the heaviest ever and felt really bad. And then so I talked to my friend Derek Young on the phone, and he's like a filmmaker, and he put on a big convention before. Like somehow he got the money together to pay some celebrities. Like maybe he gave them like $1,400 from one of them, or 2,000 for another one, and the other ones he didn't pay, or he paid a few $100s to him or something like that. And then they made money at the booth, and he put on a big horror convention, and he got famous people like the guy who played Jason in Friday the 13th, Kane Hodder. Kane Hodder. Kane Hodder. He got him to be at the convention, and these other famous people and stuff. Kane Hodder was a big celebrity. He's been in like 5 of the Jason movies, or 4 of them, or more. And the Friday the 13th movies, he played Jason. And so he got him at his horror convention. He's like a producer, and he does like things that are for movies or whatever, but it's not like that huge, and it's kind of big, like the kind of stuff that I've done. And so then so I was so he's pretty good, Kane Hodder. But we all have different things that we go through, and they're difficult. So I thought I was so heavy, my foot hurt. I thought I got up to the heaviest ever, and I was. And when I got back from the doctor, I had lost 10 pounds and tried to lower my cholesterol. But still, I felt so heavy, and my foot hurt from being so heavy going on a walk, I thought. And I thought I must be big and fat and heavy, and I felt so bad. And then I had this dream after I talked to my my friend Derek Young, who does movies and stuff. And I had this dream that he did these huge movies, and they're really bigger, like big budget looking movies and productions, but he was just happening to be filming something in the dream that day, and he had these huge movie lights, and I was trying to look at the movie lights to see if maybe I could get something like that, because I used to want to get like really bright movie lights, but it was so expensive that I was like, then all of a sudden this flying house came down on like these little propellers, like it was like from the future, and it was like painted like an old stuff, like an old antique huge house, and it came flying down, and it was part of his production that he was filming. I was like, whoa. And I was like, wow, how did he do that? And when I woke up, I thought, well, and there's this other guy in the dream who didn't have the money to do a big production, and he was like skinny and had abs, and he was like, whoa, this is cool, and he was like looking good, and he had kind of blonde hairish, or it was bleached blonde, but it was not me. It was some other guy. He had like more tan skin, and he was like more white looking than me, because I'm like Italian and Irish or whatever. And he was like, but I don't know, maybe he was Italian or something different from me, but he was someone different from me, a person in the dream. And he had like a really good body with a thin skinny waist, and he was strong. And I was like, I wonder if I should try to set that as a goal to be skinny again so my foot doesn't hurt and I'm not big, fat, and heavy. And, and I was thinking about that in the dream. I said, no, it'd probably be wrong. And so I let Derek and his wife Crystal know that that was the other guy, not me. I wasn't trying to like use our friendship to try to be as skinny as I could or some mean sinful goal like that. I couldn't. I was so worried it would be wrong, so I didn't set it as a goal to be skinny. And then and then I woke up. I woke up from the dream, and and I was wondering, I was like kind of happy and I felt pretty good. And I thought maybe I'll do some big movie productions out there, some new thing that's really fun. And I was so tired of being in this house. And I thought maybe I'll just go out there and I'll be in big movies. And I was happy about being alive and I felt good again. And then I got up out of bed and I had slept on and off for like 2 days or almost more than that, maybe 3 days, because I quit caffeine. And I was trying to like get sleep and let my foot heal because I'd gotten so heavy with high cholesterol and I felt so bad and I thought I was big, fat, and heavy, and I didn't know. And instead of setting a goal of trying to be like really athletic, because God says not to have an earthly plan, not to have a plan, and God makes the plan for us. So this is the miracle that happened. I didn't make a plan to get really skinny and athletic and try to like go for that, or I didn't try to like make a goal of trying to like be the skinniest one who gets to be famous in these big movies once I woke up from the dream. And I thought, well, I'll get out of bed, and my foot didn't really hurt. It didn't really hurt yet, and I took a shower and I got ready, and then I looked on the computer on the YouTube scrolling stuff, and I saw this famous guy, and he was like he he was one of the people in a huge band, like one of the biggest bands on earth. And he was this other guy who's in the band that's pretty famous, but he's like not as famous as the lead singer, and or something, one of those kinds of people. And he does like these big shows for like huge audiences, and he plays guitar and sings or something like that. And so he's like a famous guy who's like 10 times as famous as me or 100 times as famous as me. And then the first thing I noticed when he was on stage was he was playing some cool guitar that he thought was really cool and like a really expensive shiny, but happened to be shiny. Some things good that are good that are shiny. And it was like a really expensive guitar, but there wasn't anything special about it. And I noticed that the first thing that came to mind was my grandfather's guitar that he gave me, that is like really special to me to get to play now. And I put the new strings on and I adjusted it. I adjusted this and it's ready to play these really good songs, but it's not shiny. But I can make it shiny probably. I could dust it off and maybe, but I it's good how it is now. And so the thing is that the guy in the video, the first thing that he valued was his guitar. Like, he's big and really famous. Look at all the people in the audience, the huge thing that he did, like some big movie or something. And the thing that he valued was that, and trying, the first thing that he went to was like acting like his guitar was way better than whatever special guitar that my grandfather gave me, no matter how new or expensive or whatever it is. My grandfather gave me that, and it's a really special one that I like to play. So that was the kind of thing that he valued, the first thing. And then I scrolled, I saw some other people, and I was like, well, actually, Donald Trump looked okay. I don't know if he was mean about it or what. He looked like he was trying to be a good, kind person, but I don't know him in real life. You know, he's like pretty much the most famous, powerful person on earth, Donald Trump. So I don't know what he's like in real life, but he looked okay, but I don't know. And I was thinking, do I really want to be like one of those people who works for those earthly goals, like being the really skinny guy in the dream who is strong and good looking, or the guy in the dream who is or making my own movies with a huge flying house coming down to film, and these huge movie lights that were like lit up the sky when it was dark in the dream and stuff like that? Do I really want to be the cool one who's like in front of the camera doing the best of the biggest famous huge shows and stuff like that? And is that what you want to work at with all your might? Because if you put that before God, it'll always mean meanness to others or hurting others or sin, and it'll come, all that sin comes back to whoever does it. It's called an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and it's wrong. And so instead of making a plan when I woke up in the morning from my good dream, like thinking, hey, I'm going to go out and make big movies or make a bunch of money or look really good in shape, I didn't make a plan. And instead, I was kind. I was kind and good. And I had cried on the phone the night before to my friend Derek, who I missed because I was so tired of being alone. And so I was nice to him, and then somehow God gave me this amazing stuff in return. So I had thought that I was big, fat, and heavy. I was at my heaviest weight. I thought I had, well, at the doctor they said I had too high cholesterol. I had like 300 something cholesterol, and my foot was hurt for 3 days, and I felt so bad. And still, I didn't set an earthly goal of being like the really skinny one with a strong upper body, that kind of strong upper body that was like good looking. Or I didn't set that as a goal. I didn't set making big movies as a goal or going out there and doing those big earthly things. Instead, I lived for God and Jesus. I was humble. I wrote to my kids. I said not to value earthly things, and I was kind and good. And then I noticed as I was walking around this morning, my foot didn't hurt anymore. My foot didn't hurt anymore. And then I wrote to my friend who's in Minnesota, and he's a little older than me. He's pretty cool, and he has this. He's pretty good, and he does this fun stuff. Like he works on his yard, and he has like these things that he does around town. He knows people around town that are like, just fun. It's not a huge stuff, but it's fun and good. It's like this guy who's like has like a junkyard who's almost, it's like the future, and he sat down in his car and filmed him. I should tell you about his YouTube channel if you want to see who he is. He's not like rich or anything like that, but he's one of my friends, and he doesn't do huge things, but it's kind of good that he has a good life that's fun and interesting. Is if you look up his YouTube channel, it's called Old Sea Dad, and he likes like music from like the 70s and stuff. So I didn't set any of those earthly goals. He likes this old like cool sounding rock from the late 70s and 80s, and it sounds kind of like Black Sabbath, but more stuff that didn't go really huge. And he just likes his stuff that he does, and he's kind and good, and he doesn't set like huge earthly goals, but he has a good life and it's fun. So anyway, I don't want to set earthly goals or anything like that. And we're not supposed to set any goals unless they're good. We can set goals. Goals can be good, but an earthly plan is wrong. A plan to do earthly things and then working towards that itself is wrong. So I didn't set any of those goals. As low feeling as I was, as heavy as I was like 253 pounds at the doctor, and I had high cholesterol, way high cholesterol, kind of more than 300, and my foot hurt from going on a walk, from trying to lose weight from it, and I felt so bad for like 3 days. And at my worst, I still didn't try to set an earthly plan like to get really skinny and athletic or make a big movie and be the star of it and in good shape so where my body didn't hurt or something like that. And instead, I lived for God. I told my kids not to value earthly things, and I wrote to the guy who's my friend, and I was nice to him, even though he likes working on his house and doing like hard labor kind of work, like with power tools and stuff, and he thinks it's fun. He likes stuff like that. And so I was afraid, oh no, what if being kind and nice to him would make me have to do that kind of work? Sometimes I wouldn't write to him before. Instead, I lived for God, and I was kind to him. I didn't think about any selfish thing. And maybe he'll help me to like the work that I can do if I have to work on stuff like that. So I lived for God. I didn't make an earthly plan, and I was really kind and good. And then while I was typing to him, or when I was writing to him, also the first thing I noticed was my foot didn't hurt anymore. And then I looked up. I thought, I wonder if people who lift weights have higher cholesterol, like the really strong ones who kind of like lift weights, because I'm pretty strong. And then I looked up and I found out, this is because I didn't know. I thought I was maybe just fat, or I didn't know it, and I felt so bad about myself. I didn't even know. And then I looked up if people who are bodybuilders have high cholesterol, high LDL cholesterol, whatever it's called, high cholesterol. and they generally have higher LDL cholesterol, and it goes along with having more muscle. Like they have a little higher LDL cholesterol, but it's not always true. It's not always true because there are vegans who I know who are stronger than almost any human I've ever seen. And I'm a vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian, but you can get super strong. You can get super strong as a not for you, with God. God gives you back those strength, those things. So God let me know, hey, wait a second. It's because I'm so strong. Like it's because I was so physically strong that that's why my cholesterol was so high. And so I realized this thing that I didn't understand. I thought my cholesterol was high because I thought I was fat, and I thought I was heavy and fat, and my foot hurt because I was so fat and I felt so bad. And I had to lay in bed for 2 or 3 days, for about 3 days. And then by a miracle, I woke up this morning. I woke up this morning and before setting an earthly goal of like, I'm gonna get skinny, or I'm gonna make a bunch of money and stuff like that, and be like really skinny and good looking or something like that, I didn't set an earthly goal, and I was kind and good instead. And I'm gonna be a vegan. I'm gonna be a vegan now because I know that you can be super strong as a vegan with no cholesterol. You don't need cholesterol to get really strong. Maybe more protein. You really, for a physical body strength. And that's something that's different from how God strengthens you. He may strengthen you and make you feel like skinnier than me, and so you don't have all this big, like, whatever this is. If I'm too fat or something, like, you may be like, I don't know. He may give you something different from how I am. I don't really know how to talk about it. I'm a man. I'm a sinful man. But I know better than most about the Bible, I think. But I don't know. I can't judge myself. I don't know. I can't judge them. So maybe they know more than I do. But the miracle was that God strengthened me and made all the problems go away that I had been worried about laying in a bed for 3 days or 4 days or however long I was suffering and in bed worrying about things that felt so bad. And God made everything okay without me setting some earthly goal of like trying to go, I'm going to get really athletic and skinny and have no problems and make a bunch of money at films and be the best looking, coolest looking. I wouldn't try to make a bunch of money, but like finally have enough money or whatever, or something like that. Who knows? And so I didn't set an earthly goal. And then God strengthened me anyway. He made the pain in my foot go away. So I don't have any pain in my foot. I think. Yeah. He made me realize even with higher cholesterol, it's probably just because I'm so strong because I was lifting those huge weights. And, I have way more muscle than most people. So that's why I had high cholesterol. And it wasn't because I was big and fat, because like I work out with those huge weights or whatever. And, and so, and so my body wasn't hurt anymore. It was a miracle. I realized that I'm not a big fat guy, and everything was okay. And I realized that I don't have to set earthly goals of being, I don't have to be the most famous one, but that really famous guy, that kind of famous guy who's playing on stage or whatever I thought was mean, maybe he's really, really nice. Maybe he's really, really kind and nice. I have no idea. And, and, uh, and so, I didn't set a goal of trying to be lustful towards a woman. You know, I don't, I'm not attracted to men. I never will be. I just don't like it for me. But I didn't set a goal of like lust towards a woman, like getting to be with like a perfect looking woman, or who knows what. But it maybe only in heaven, because we're flawed on earth. They can't look perfect here. But I'd like to be with my wife and kids, because then I can have somebody to hug, however big or small she is, as long as she's godly and good. And like God says, a wife and husband should be in the Bible, like they don't want to be with anyone else. And so I'd like to be with her. And so I'm hoping to be with her and the kids, but I didn't even set that as an earthly goal, even though I'm thinking about how to get to Texas to make sure they're okay, so I have something to live for. And I don't know, but now I do. So God gave me something to live for anyway. And someone. I already have people to live for, or some, the baby. The baby, I can be nice to the baby. So everything's okay. So that's the whole story about how like I felt worse and worse, and I was in the bed and I didn't know what to do, and then all this crap, and then I still didn't make an earthly plan to try to like better myself in like some earthly way. And God strengthened me. I was godly and good. I was kind to others. I was kind to my kids. I wrote to them. I wrote to him on the computer. I I wrote to this other guy, this man, and I was nice to my friend who I talked to yesterday, Derek Young. He's a filmmaker. He's in some of my films, and he made his own films. He's in this movie with me, The Vampires of Zanzibar. The Vampires of Zanzibar. And I did this movie, and I got him to act in it. That was the first movie he was in. Here's Royce. That was the first movie he acted in. I made this movie, and I got these people to act in it who showed up, who didn't. God got them to appear. God got them to show. God got them to be at the auditions. I put out ads. I worked really hard on getting people to, I studied and worked really hard to learn how to make a real movie. That's how you actually do it. You have to learn more about how movies are really made, and go out there and make movies if that's something you want to do. You can't just all of a sudden everything appears. You have to work really hard. You have to work hard and learn how to do things like that if you want to make a movie. And all you really need is an iPhone, pretty much. A good iPhone that has a hard drive big enough if you can't afford other stuff. Maybe $20, 20 or 30, but 20 something bucks a month. And you can film a movie and watch how-to videos and stuff like that if that's what you want to do. But and so you can get people together for free. You can put out ads and say you're looking for people to show up as extras, and don't do anything lustful or gross like that. Don't try to, don't do anything bad or wrong. Okay, so I don't know. Okay, so that's the whole story. God strengthened me. Okay, maybe I'll play some music. I don't know. Yo, here's my cool little tripod. This is the weirdest thing. They have these cool little tripod. Whoa, I look pretty good. They have these cool little tripods. They're only $7, and they're like really strong. And they, for some reason, I don't know why, these little tripods, you can get them on Amazon. Like, see, they're like $7. I got like 20 of them or something, or 10 of them, because I did these special effects shots. But this is all you need, is just like a few of these. So if one went wrong, but for some reason they're like really strong and they haven't broken or anything. But I got other ones that were like $20 or something, and they broke. But this one, I don't know. And so, but I have stuff to film on wherever. It's not how expensive your stuff is. You may never want to film. You may not like to film or anything like that. Maybe you have other stuff that's better for you, probably. Hi. So I feel pretty good. My hair looks good. Well, it did. Okay. I might play a song. Just so I can, like, I don't know, do something different in the video. Here's the movie I made, The Vampires of Zanzibar. I'm hoping one day it gets to be #1, but I can't really set that as a goal. Hi. So maybe I can play guitar. Hi, Derek. Hey, I talked to my friend Derek on the phone, Derek Young. So I'm probably gonna, I don't know, maybe I'll play guitar or something. Maybe I'll play guitar and sing. Or something really cool, because I'm actually really good at it. So I guess I'm good. Okay. All right, something I can do in a video. Hopefully this is. Hey. Oh. Hey. Krista. I was thinking of my sister Krista. I made that song about Krista. I know the camera's not filming, but this, I mean, it's filming, but it's like, let me put the guitar down so I can fix the camera tripod because I didn't do it right. Okay. Had to get it like something, I don't know. Oh. Good. Okay, great. No. Okay. I'm gonna play a guitar song. Hey. Hey. I took a shower this morning. I didn't sin or do anything bad. I think, but yeah. I was almost without sin right before I had that crash and felt really bad for 3 days or 4 days. And I thought it was the end. I was pretty sure I was going to die or whatever, and I thought it was the biggest, fattest, heaviest ever. It wasn't just my physical body, but everything felt bad. And then God strengthened me. For some reason, God strengthened me this morning. So here's my grandfather's guitar. Krista. This is Papa's guitar, my grandfather. He was in a big touring band. He was like, I don't know. Then he quit and became an engineer. And pretty much my whole life since I was about 14 or 15, I thought, why did he quit? Why didn't he be really famous? I thought it was so stupid what he did. And then I was like, wow, it's really good and beautiful what he did. And he's one of the only people I know who made it to heaven, because he came to me from heaven and I got to see him, and I could see that he was without sin. He was way more beautiful than any human being on earth. He didn't value any earthly thing. He was without sin. I had never seen anyone like that. And he was in this euphoric place that was beautiful, and this beautiful sunlight came in. He was right through that window, like when it was really sunny and beautiful. And God showed me where he was in heaven. And it wasn't a hallucination. It was like leaves or something that was God let me see where he was in heaven and communicate with him, and he was without sin. So I knew he was without sin. I could tell a story about it, but I don't really want to talk about that. I can tell my mom and dad and their family. This is his guitar. This is one of his guitars. This is the weirdest thing. You know, he was like not poor, but he didn't have much money by the time he died. You know, he was like living on disability the last 10 or 20 years of his life. But he had he had one of the most expensive guitars on earth, because when he was in a touring band in the 1930s, he had one of the first D'Angelico guitars. And my uncle has it to this day. My uncle still owns it, and it's like at least $200,000, and it may be $2 million, maybe a $2 million guitar. I think it's a 1932 D'Angelico, and he happened to be in New York, and he knew Johnny D'Angelico, and so he got him to make him a custom guitar back then. I think it was $8,000 when he had it made for him in like the 1930s or something, and so now it may be worth like really a bunch of money, but I don't know. And so he was like, he lived on disability, and he worked as an engineer, but he did these huge buildings, and then he'd sleep in a bed like for weeks and stuff and just eat eggs. He'd wait. He wouldn't really work that hard at a job every single day, but he'd do these big huge things, and then he'd like rest almost like a bear. But he was like this little he was only like 4'9". He was like 5'2". He was like 5'2". He was Sicilian, he was Italian. he was 5'2", but he may have shrunk when he was I don't think he was 4'9", but he was like 5'2". and he this is one of his guitars he just got for $100, I think, in the '60s, and now it's worth like $1,200. But like the big famous guy I was talking about, like would have thought, oh, who cares about it? He has like a 20. That guy won't play anything less than a $20,000 guitar, $8,000 guitar or something, or he's like really famous. But to me, that mean that I'd way rather have this guitar than a 20,000 dollar guitar. It means almost nothing. Because my grandfather's really good guitar is worth maybe 2 million or 200,000 or something, and he didn't really have much money when he was alive. They thought it was only worth $12,000 the guitar, but it was something cool that he had, and then he died in the '90s. Oh, but that's the amazing thing. God will give you stuff like that really cool guitar or things like that in your life. God will give you some really good things. It may not be a guitar or something like that, but it may be a guitar. It may be like God gives us more than our wildest dreams. So I don't know why I'd even play a song about it or whatever. But I don't know. God knows way more than I do. Like maybe he makes your life way better without even having to have any money, you know? Or maybe he'll give you tons of money, or way more than tons of money. Maybe he'll give you millions of dollars. Maybe he'll give you $0. Maybe he'll give you $4 billion. You know, when you live for God, and you live for Jesus, then he'll give you these really good things that you were not planning on, and it might be from work that you're not planning on, or it's God's plan, and it can be really good on this earth. It doesn't have to feel bad. So God strengthened me this morning, and I feel okay. I don't know what to play. I don't want to play that look like the devil's hands playing it. I don't know. But anyway, wait, it's not the devil, so I wonder if I can play some really loud song. I'm just randomly playing. I don't know. This is just stuff I kind of made up. Cool. Hey, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. No, 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 no. Down to hell is where the devil will go. Yo. The devil tricks us every day, and we don't get tricked anyway, no way. Cause he tricks us and only God knows the truth, that it'll be way more beautiful than me or you in heaven. Cause we still sin, and God will always win. God will always win. But the devil's still here today. He's dissonant and he's the wrong way. But we do things every day the right way. It's okay. And even we are sinful and messed up. We can't get it right. But God knows what's best every day. It's okay. I don't know. I'm not singing right now. I don't want to sing right now. We don't really get it right, but God knows. So I hope to God my relatives are okay. I hope to God my relatives are okay. I think they are. They're in the hospital and they made it out of the hospital and now they're like at home. One of them who's my relative. So I hope to God she's okay. I hope to God you're okay watching this. I hope to God others are okay. It's not that great on earth. Sometimes it's kind of not the best, but then God will strengthen us and make it okay again. So after you've suffered, and after I've suffered, we'll probably suffer again. God will strengthen us. But maybe God strengthened you right now. Maybe God will strengthen you right now or already strengthen you. So you're already like feeling really good and okay or something. I'm so worried. If you listen to the story earlier in this video, what it was about was that I got really heavy. 253 pounds and I had more than 300 cholesterol. My foot hurt and I was so sad and I laid there for many days. It was probably more than that of suffering, worrying. And then God made all the problems go away. He made me realize, wait a second, people who lift weights may have higher cholesterol sometimes from eating dairy and meat or something like that if they're not vegan. And so I had to lower my bad cholesterol. I can still have meat and dairy if it's low cholesterol, but I like being a vegan. Well, I like being a vegan, but you can have low cholesterol and still eat meat and dairy. You just have skim milk or something if you have to lower your cholesterol instead of whole milk. I was having too much whole milk, and so the cholesterol wasn't that bad. My foot doesn't hurt anymore. I felt really okay, and I didn't even set an earthly goal to try to be better from all of it. God gave me all that. It was a miracle. He gave me that this morning. And I played some cool sounding stuff on guitar. some of it was really cool sounding. And uh, so I don't know, God knows, but I study God and Jesus by reading the Bible. And I don't know, you may not study, you may not have to study, you may not have to study in your family, but you, to read the Bible and know who God is, and to know how God is by reading the Bible, that may be kind of studying, but you don't have to. You don't have to go to school and study if it's not in your family. You don't have to call it studying. Just reading the Bible and knowing how God is. You may have to like understand what it really means. So, um, okay, that's it. I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna turn the video off unless there's something cool I can do. I'm probably gonna not go because I don't always get things right. So I don't know. God knows. Maybe God has a way better plan. So I'm just gonna turn this video off. Hi. So this roof doesn't look that great, but there's no. I mean, the roof is really good. It doesn't leak, and the ceiling. There's no way that any insulation can get to my breathing. So see, it's like seal. It's like there's no pink insulation. It's this old piece of crap looking roof, but or ceiling. Obviously, I know the difference between a ceiling and a roof. I'm not like a child, but you know, I had to seal the roof the other day. But this is the ceiling. This is called a ceiling, not the roof. But it doesn't look that good. But there's no exposed insulation, so I don't see how it could be bad for anyone. So you know, and insulation is only bad when breathed long term. You know, a couple of years of it may really start having a little effect on someone. So try to not breathe in insulation anyway. But it's in many attics or whatever. I don't know if that has to do with anything. But you don't have to. You know, this countertop, even though it's so stupid, I could probably get a new countertop. It still works to put a plate on or something. You know, to put a plate on or something like that. And these burners, 2 of them work or whatever. It may not be the newest, most expensive looking cool thing, but who cares? Why does it have to be the way society thinks that, you know, if it's a human being setting an earthly value, some of it's good, some of it's okay. Maybe kind of what your family wants you to do, like get new nice cabinets or something like that. I don't know. But so I'm gonna go. Okay, praise God, praise Jesus. Bye. Thanks. Someone said they love me. Okay, that's nice. I love you too. But I'm not, you know, I'm just a sinful man. God will always love you. So you always have God to go to. I love you too. Okay, whoever that is. I don't know if it's a man or a woman. Okay, I love you too. It's so weird to say, but I said it. Okay, maybe I gotta work on that. Okay, I'm gonna go. Praise God, praise Jesus. Bye. I was gonna sing a song, but I didn't really get to. Okay, I sang one, but it was like not the best. Some of it was okay. Okay, bye. Praise God and praise Jesus. Bye. No, okay, bye.